what I want to do is experiment a little bit with something I just kind of noticed in multiplayer. So if this works in single player, that means that the medical skill will now no longer really need to be required when you start the game. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and make a single player character. Actually, I'll just see if I have one that has, where's this build guy at? This one shouldn't have any medical skill. Try and save her some time a little bit, so. Okay, so he has no medical. And essentially what this is, I'm going to try and speed this up as much as I can. I'm going to post this online afterwards, maybe make a Reddit post if it does work. Basically what we're looking at here, don't worry about this, this is my base design that I was working on. It's going to be a pretty sweet base when it's all said and done. Alright. Alright, good. We injured ourselves, so that's good. So what I think you have to do to level medical skill that no one's really talking about. So we need to spawn item. Okay. So we have a C1 injury. Our medical skill is at 0. So we go here, and then we treat this. And we're going to do this 10 times. Or at least a couple, as much as we can. Now this is a very simple thing that I was kind of looking at, but if this is true, then it's going to be a lot easier to level than anything else. The reason I'm not positive is because we had advanced medical, so we might have been getting more XP. So let's look at this. We got 8 uses off. I need to find some paper real quick. Okay. We got 8 uses off. And we got 40 XP off that, so maybe it's not as good as we wanted. So that's only 5 XP per. That's not as good as I had hoped, to be honest. Essentially, I had advanced medical, and what I wanted was to be able to get as much XP as before. I was getting 40 XP with advanced. We're getting 5 XP right now for this. So if we look at that, healing the wound with 3 rags would give us 75. We need 15 uses to get that much XP. But the thing is what I'm thinking is if you plan this out right, you could get like a C4 bleed or something, kind of slow it down, and then just sit there and heal the actual set God mode. I think this could still work. All right, so let's go ahead and test something out. It's gonna be really quick. I got to get ready for work. All right, so we're gonna place a chest. We want to. There's a bunch of different things that we could try. So we know absinthe is gonna give us 5. So let's go. Isotropic alcohol. I don't really know exactly what all medical items are in the game. Give me 1 second to scum medical items. Let's see what's going on here. So bandages. use? I don't see a list online. I need to look at all the different medical items and see what you can actually get. So here's the thing, all right? So we need to collect alcohol, which from what I've seen so far, it doesn't really matter. Let me look at this real quick. So you can get activated charcoal, adrenaline, antibiotics. I don't know if just taking antibiotics would give you any. Um, let's look real quick. Antibiotics. All right, and then so we got craft, or we're at 40. All right, so antibiotics no effect. I'm guessing unless you have an actual issue there. But this alcohol, I want to see if there's any container that has multiple uses here. So penicillin, all I'm really seeing is that. Now let's look at beer real quick. Beer. Okay. Let's see if any of this can do anything. And this is what I think you need to do here. Instead of, so we know that's giving us 5. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and craft a bed. And then we need to craft a spike trap. Okay. That gave us, okay, we got a C3. And we want to treat this. It's not letting us treat it though. So let's go ahead and do, let's get a hiking backpack. Toss everything in the bag, see if that helps. So we need this, isotropic alcohol. I don't think any of this is going to actually help. Okay, so we actually can use this now. And let's see how much we get here. So that gave us 15. And now let's test the... You can use both at the same time. Okay. I think they gave us another 15. So I'm thinking you're getting 5 XP per bleed. Okay. Now, what I'm thinking this means is, so let's do this, and we do 10 of these. And then we're going to go back over here. We are at 70 XP. 70 XP. And then we're going to go over here, and we're going to select all of these, and we're going to use them. It looks like you can only use up to 7. So we're going to use 7. And now we have gained 85. So we're gaining 15 XP there. But we only used 1 use, it looks like. So I'm thinking what you do is you collect all these, you injure yourself, and then you're just going to sit here and do this. Now, I'm guessing if you're getting 5 per, it looks like we're using 2. We're using 2 every time. Okay, so we were using 1 before, now we're using 2. So we're getting 7 XP for the C3 bleed. You're getting 2 uses, 15 XP. Alright, let's look at the absent father real quick. Okay, let's do this. Alright, so now we gotta come over here, come to the health, come to the injuries, and let's use the absent father. We have 130, should get us the same. So we're getting 15, and we're using 2. So we gotta consider what we're using to heal. So let's do some rags real quick. Okay, I want to do 10 rags. And I want to get this injury to where it's almost healed. I'm just going to try and slow the actual bleed out is my plan. So we're losing like 2 a second. Okay. So now when you look at this, we are now losing a lot less blood. We still have the C3 bleed. So I think what you want to do is get like a C2 to C4 bleed and then slow the bleeding, and then you're going to sit there and treat the wound with alcohol. So if this is the case, you need 10,000 XP for level 1, and you're getting 15 per. That's 666 uses, which is like 1,200. Not 1,200. Let's just divide this by 2. Well, shoot. Actually, we'd multiply that 2. It'd be like 1,200 alcohol uses, which is 120 bottles of alcohol. And then we need to see how much time do I got before work. I can kind of stretch this maybe. So what we can do is, right now we have 2% medical. We have all of this in our inventory. We're going to treat the wound. I guess it's not letting us treat the wound afterwards. So let's just go ahead and heal this. Okay. And I guess what we could do here is spawn puppet. Spawn skinny. Yeah, we got a C2. Alright, we got a C2. So now we need to come over here. And we're going to heal this C2 real quick. We're going to heal the C1s. We're going to heal, or keep the C2. Well, the C2 is going away pretty quick. Alright, well anyway, the C2 isn't going to really matter much, so let's go ahead and treat this. We're going to see how many uses it uses. So this is using 1 use. And then we go from 280, so we're getting 10 XP. So you're getting 5 per, but this, alright, so if you have a C1, you're getting 5 XP with 1 use. If you got a C2, you're getting 10 XP with 1 use. And if you go to a C3, you're getting 15 XP, but you're using 2. Okay. Now, I don't know if a C4 would be worth it. I'm assuming you're going to get 20 XP, but you're going to be losing a lot more health. And it's going to be about the same as just having a C2, I would assume. So C2 seems to be the sweet spot from first glance. But the C3 and C4s are going to last longer. But I'm thinking the C2 is what you're going to want. And then we're just going to slowly treat these as much as we can. And just see how fast that we can get the actual thing to, like, treat, right? So with this, we're going to have to do some numbers here in a little bit, but I don't know if we can just select one. No. But essentially, you're looking at 100 XP per bottle. So you would need approximately 100 bottles, I think, is how this is working. So, yeah, because if you're getting, all right, so hold up. If you're getting 10 per use, you got 10 uses per bottle. That's 100 XP. You're going to need 10 bottles to get 1,000 XP, and then you're going to need 100 bottles to get 10,000. Now, the other thing that we need to test is going to be the saltwater thing. Someone told me a while back that if you put salt water in a bottle, you can use it to disinfect wounds. And if that is true, then we should be able to just go and fill up the bottles with salt water, and then we can level up our healing skill. So we will go and test that in a second. I don't know if that's an intended effect or not. Okay, so we've used a little bit of this. We are already at 5%. I mean, it's going to be slow going, but I think it's actually going to work out pretty well. Let's just go ahead and treat. Actually, what happens, so let's go treat. If we treat a C2 with this, we get 10 XP. Okay, so right now we're at 480. If we disinfect this, we get no XP. And then if we use this, we're getting 17. So you can use the disinfectant and then heal and get 20 XP per. This is actually less than I remember, if I'm going to be honest. But it basically, I mean, you either treat the wound with the disinfectant on the rag and you get bonus XP, or you are not treating the wound, or you can use the disinfectant while, you know, everything's still good. Let's go MRE stew, and then we need a water. Alright, next we're going to have to fly to the ocean to see exactly how this works. If it does work, it means that all it would take is time and a bottle. So you want a bottle with as many uses as possible, as long as everything works correctly. That's all you would need, is a bottle with as many uses as you can. Let's see, what do we need? 2 liter? Liter. Bottle. Glass bottle, oxygen bottle, water collector bottle. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna do a gas can. Gas canister, because I know this is like one of the biggest things that you can get. I'm gonna just take off this backpack. We'll get another hiking backpack. We'll go ahead and put this in there. Alright. And then we are going to fly out to the ocean. Alright. Spawn vehicle. Plane. Duster. Parachute. I don't think that's going to be an option. Is there storage on the plane? Okay. Alright. Let's fly to the coast real quick. Okay. Let's go down to the river. So we're looking for a C2 bleed. I'm thinking that's going to be the slowest that we can get anything to happen. Alright. And then I'm guessing you can't use gasoline as a disinfectant. I mean, we could look into that, but that would burn. I'll go ahead and Google that real quick too. Can you use gasoline as a disinfectant? There's no proof for that. Okay. So now we need to go ahead and spill. I still hope that they allow us to catch this on fire at some point. I haven't really tested that, but it'd be really interesting. So let's make sure that we're at the ocean. We're on the ocean edge. Fill gasoline canister. I've also heard that you have to use an actual bottle, so let's go ahead and spawn some absinthe. And I'll go ahead and dump it out. Let's go ahead and spill this real quick. Because I run into like absinthe pretty frequently. I'm not gonna say it's the best, but I mean it fills pretty quickly. So I mean, all right. So now, how do we want to do this? C2 bleed. Let's just go ahead and do the puppet again. Skinny male puppet, and then you're gonna want spawn item rags. 10 of those. Just have these on hand. We want to slow the bleeding as much as we can. Okay. So, let's see if we can get this guy to get us a good bleed. C1. Okay. C2. Okay. So now we want to go in here, go to the C2. We want to use 2 rags on it. Not losing very much blood, but we're losing a little bit. Okay, it's going to take a little bit. Let's see how far, like, that slows it down. Maybe half the time, something like that. Not too bad. Alright, so I want to go here and I want to treat this. So how do I treat it? So disinfect. Okay, so you can't use the gas. Okay, so you can't use the gas can, but you can use the bottle. Maybe not. Treat. At least you can use a bottle to quickly get into your medical inventory. Let's disinfect this. So you can use salt water to make antiseptic bandage, but antiseptic bandage does not give you XP. So you're basically going to have to injure yourself with a C2, and then you're going to need to spawn in a bunch of absinthe. And with a C2, you're getting... Actually, is it because I'm not getting infected? We might might need to get an infection real quick. Let's take this zombie's clothes for a second. Equip that. Equip. Let's spawn another zombie in. Skinny male. Wound germs, 1%. We got, C4. I guess we can go ahead and test the C4. Okay, so you're gonna come in here, C4, losing blood pretty quickly. Okay. Let's see, if we can slow the C4 enough, it could be worth it. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be worth it, but it could be worth it. Okay. Let's go ahead and treat. Right, so we're going to get this right to the edge. And it looks like we're right about the same blood loss as the C2, so we're pretty close. This is actually really good. So now, if we go in here and we treat, how do we treat? So we can't use that. Treat wound. It's not letting us treat. Okay. I'm guessing it has to do with not having an infection. So let's go ahead and heal this, I guess. See if we can get ourselves an infection. External pathogen. Contamination. Let's see about... Alright, so we can use it now. So let's get some rags. Let's get dirty rags. Rag. Dirty. Okay, so now we're gonna get dirty rags, and then we will heal ourselves with the dirty rag. Okay. And that. So the contamination is going down. We need to get the blood loss without losing too much HP, and then we need to contaminate it. Maybe by like rolling on the ground. I don't really know. Okay, so we got that. Contamination is going up 6.4% a minute. And now let's try and roll around in the dirt, see if that increases. Okay. Okay, so it is now increasing. Okay. Okay. So now what we got to do is, I guess, drop one of these, see if we can treat. We cannot treat. Bleeding injury we can treat. Okay. I don't know if there's a glitch there. So 73. $58. $7.58. $58. Gaining 5. Which is normal. Okay, so stabilizations we can use this on. We can't use it on the C4 at all. So what do? We let the contamination rise, and then we go into the recovery phase, and then we have to continuously put antibiotic on it, is what I'm gathering here. You can remove bandages. That's interesting. So if you remove bandages, you will bleed out. But I'm guessing it reduces the infection. But since we're using dirty rags, it is increasing the contamination rate, which should allow us to put disinfectant on it. Unless you got to take the rags off. Okay, 1 second here. Okay, let's go ahead and see what happens when we take the rags off, because we can't do anything right now. Remove bandages. I want to see if that gives us any XP. So 763. We get barely any XP for that. And now our blood loss is back, but we can apply the alcohol. So if we do, where are we at right now? We are at 768, and we use alcohol on it. We got 5 uses in that alcohol bottle. It's using 2. And then we're going to go ahead and heal this, I'm guessing. Alright. So we can get some HP back. And we went up to 788 with the absinthe, which is 20 XP. Okay, so C4, you get 20 XP for 2 uses, just like we thought. So you might as well get a C2, except for a C4 probably takes longer to heal. So let's look at this real quick. So this is going to take a little while to heal. The contamination is going down still. But it looks like you can remove the bandages, so you can recover your HP. So you're going to want to micromanage your C4, maybe? It's still going down in contamination. Wound germs, 21 immune system, disinfectant. So the disinfectant's still going down. And remove the bandages. Alright, so it's 893. Let's go ahead and put dirty bandages back on. So we know that you can actually remove the bandages, which is another form of XP that I was not aware of a minute ago. So we're at 893. 893. And then we have to go to health, C4. We can get the 20 XP doing that, or we can put 5 rags on here. So 5 rags, 893, 5x rags. My notes are all over the place on this. So we got 100 XP for 5 rags. 100 XP. So you need 50 rags for 1,000, 500 rags for 10,000. Okay, so 500 rags for 10,000. You're talking about, you know, like 10 seconds or something to heal. You need the rags. That's a decent bit. But we need to do like tests of different areas, because like realistically right now this isn't taking us too long to level this, but compared to like the C2, I think the C2 is more efficient. You know, if we're going to be perfectly honest here, I think the C2 is more efficient. And we can't dump alcohol on this like we could the other one. So I'm guessing the flesh wounds are just going to be better for alcohol, and the bleeds are just going to be like the C4, C3s are going to be better for bandages, which it makes sense. And the disinfectant's working pretty good on that. I mean, it's not terrible. I'm just trying to consider what you could actually use this for. So I think we saw that we could use the absinthe on the lower tier, if I remember correctly. So let's go ahead and like take this in a hand, drop the bag, fill this up. Okay, so now the thing is, we need to get some dirty rags. We need to get damaged enough to where we can basically though, if you're going to do a medical skill, you're going to want to collect alcohol and you're going to want to collect rags, as many rags as possible. And then you're going to have to heal over and over. But you don't have to injure yourself over and over. You just have to remove the bandages and reapply the bandages. So if you do that, you're going to get a little bit of XP for taking them off, and then a little bit of XP for putting them on. So we got 100 XP for putting on 5 bandages. Alright, and we're at 93 right now. So if we go in here and take them off, I think we only gained like 3 XP before. Yeah, we gained 5. Okay. Then we treat this. So we get 98. And we gain 20. So you can gain 20 XP pretty much indefinitely, it seems like. But it's going to take you a lot of uses. The main thing is just controlling your health. But I think the C2 would just be better in general. As long as you put the bandages on and then you take the bandages off. But I mean, really all this is like you're micromanaging your bleed. So you'd do something like that, and then you would put on bandages. To stop the bleeding and get your HP back. But this is taking a long time compared to the other thing. What happens if we just put 4 bandages? Let's get it just barely. Let's see if we get the same XP for that, honestly. So we're at pretty much 1100. Putting on 4 bandages. We got 100 XP for 5 bandages earlier. Okay, so we got a little bit less than 100. But if we try and heal this, we don't have the option for disinfectant anymore. Okay. So you would heal the C4. And your HP is going to go up. But really, as long as you have a bottle, you have all of the disinfectant you need with the water. And although, like, I mean, you're getting, it takes more time with a C2, and I think it would be harder to micromanage a C2. But the XP gain is going to be coming from the disinfectant. If you do a C2, it's going to heal faster. You won't lose it, but we could slow our HP loss a lot quicker with the C2. So I think what we got to do is, let's get a C2. We're going to like we're going to rest for a minute. We're going to heal up this C4 as fast as we can. And then we're going to get a C2 afterwards. I don't know if it'd be worth it just to use a T or not, but I'm just going to let this heal naturally. Then we'll let our HP regen a little bit, and we'll be able to fix this up. So right now, the question is, so let's say if it takes, let's see if there's any numbers on here. Let's look at isotropic alcohol, weight, portions, other info. It doesn't really tell you anything. Okay. I don't really know how long it's going to take you to apply everything. It's going to take you a decent amount of time. But the question becomes, like, what becomes easier to level? I mean, still awareness is going to be easier to level. Time-wise, I don't know if it would be worth it to level medical compared to leveling survival, because survival can save you minutes per tree. let me just look at this real quick. So like advanced survival versus advanced medical. You're looking at 100 seconds, plus you're going to be getting advanced plus survival very quickly. So 100 seconds, which is a minute and 40, compared to 200 seconds, which is 320 or 3 minutes and 20 seconds. That's to process one tree. So that is already a grand total of 20, a minute 20, a minute 40. You're getting a minute 40. So you're basically half your time. You're getting a minute 40 in survival, which increases your engineering leveling, increases your awareness leveling, increases your demolition and all that. So that right there, a minute 40. And the question becomes, if you save a minute and 40 seconds, which is 100 seconds, and say it takes 10 seconds to, I don't know how long it takes, but if you take 10 seconds or so, alright, so that's in recovery. To apply absence, it's a C3 now. We can remove the bandages even in recovery, and that's kind of interesting. But basically, like, the question becomes if you have access to being able to injure yourself and drain your XP. So if you have max con, you have 120 HP, you lose 1 HP every, 2 seconds or something. That's going to give you quite a lot of HP. And then all you need is seawater, and you're getting 20 XP. You're getting 10 XP per use with a C2. And then you could micromanage the C2. Like right here, like look, it's C2. So we don't really even need to get injured. So remove the bandages. And let's see what happens here. So C2, bandages removed. We have a bleeding C2 now. And then we take the absent father. And then we had dirty rags. So now let's go ahead and treat this with 2 rags and see if we can still use the absent father. So we went from basically like no HP to 62% for this to heal. If we do this, we can no longer use the disinfectant. Now if we put this here, first off I want to see if this changes any of the XP gain. So we're at 1237, 37, you get 16. Alright. But that gives us the C2 that is in recovery, which allows us to regen our HP, and then we can take the bandages off again. Alright, so let's just remove the bandages. So really, you only got to get injured once or so. But the question is like, how long does it take for the bandages? It's not really the bandages that we need to worry about. It is the... I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. It's not the bandages that we need to worry about. It is the application of the alcohol. That's going to be where XP comes from. If the alcohol XP doesn't increase when you gain a level, then it's not going to be worth it. But right now, even with one use getting 10 XP, as long as we have access to the ocean, we can level that pretty quickly. So Alright, so now we go here, health. We need to remove the bandages. We still have enough to heal ourselves there. And a C2 only requiring 3 bandages means that you could get this done pretty early. But the question is if survival versus the other one would be more worthwhile. It also means you could just take awareness and level your survival up naturally as well. So, alright, so we come over here to the water, and then we're going to treat the C2. Why can we not treat the C2 with this bottle? Treat C2. Okay. So now we're getting 10 XP for 1 use. So the question becomes, how long does it take you to do this? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. If it takes 5 seconds per, that's 50 seconds per bottle. I really need my stopwatch. Timer. And 1, 2, 3, go. Alright, so 4 or 5 seconds to apply the antiseptic. Okay. And then we need to grab the bottle and see how long it takes to refill it. So this isn't going to be perfect. So let's say 4 seconds to apply. Couple seconds to refill. So if we're going by this number, we got 10 uses, 4 seconds to apply. So we're doing 40 seconds for 100 XP. Right? So we're just gonna sit here and keep doing this. And that's just like the best numbers that we can get. So far out of everything that I've seen is the best numbers that we can get. If there's a disinfectant that, like, you know, takes less time, I don't think it would be too bad, but okay, so something's happening here where it's kind of cutting out sometimes. Now I'm going to compare medical to basic versus survival to basic. I think that's going to be the fairest comparison that we can come up with. Okay. So let me go ahead and stop the bleeding real quick. But it is nice to know that you can actually get injured one time and not have to continuously go and try and figure out how to heal yourself. But like even right now, like we're already to 15% to basic. Alright, so we know from testing, it depends on the tree, but we have had survival level to basic with 10 trees. Okay. And we know that it took us about 200 seconds per tree, which is 2,000 seconds. Now, if we take the medical skill and we can apply, what was 4 seconds to apply, so 5 seconds to fill. I don't know, let's just go with 4 seconds. So let's go 4 seconds for 100 XP. So we're going to do 10,000, and then we divide that by 100. And that's going to be 100, and then we times that by 4. That's 400 seconds. Now, this makes me think, I mean, I know that was all kind of simple math, but I'm thinking everything is lining up correctly in my head. If this is the case, and it takes about 2,000 seconds to level up survival, let's just go ahead and turn this, so that's 6 minutes for basic medical, and then we're looking at 2,000 seconds, a half hour for survival. It just, I think if the numbers continue, because I know survival gets more XP per, we need to make a character that gets basic, and then we need to test those numbers as well for medical, but at this point it doesn't seem bad to level medical at all. So let's make another character. It kind of makes me feel bad because, you know, I've spent quite a lot of time leveling my survival this last time. But I mean, even if you can't use salt water in the future, that's 100 XP per bottle. So you need 100 bottles. All right, like you could collect 100 bottles over a period of time and then just sit there and heal it, like dump them all out in one go. And then you'd have basic. And you'd need a bunch more bottles when you got to for medium, but I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, right? So let's create a new character. I have about, not a whole lot of time, but I have a little bit of time. Alright, so we're going to go and do, I guess, just a 3-3 split here. Medical test, basic. Okay, so if I was going to do a 3-3, brawling, running, thievery, and then we were going to do medical, but now you have a real honest debate between survival and engineering if medical can level up quickly. So we want basic medical here, and we can go advanced engineering. Because that's the other debate. It's like, you can level engineering, so the question would be like, how useful is the crafted bullets at the beginning of the game compared to like advanced survival? But advanced medical does help you out quite a lot, but not really if you don't put yourself into tough situations. If you're not getting shot and all that at the beginning of the game, it's not nearly as useful as like a time saver like survival would be. And that's where I'm going to say that survival might have an edge in medical. I very much like medical. Medical saves me a lot, but if you can level it the way that, like, if this is going to be it, 400 seconds to level to basic, if there's any sort of correlation between survival and this, like, if the XP goes up when we go up to basic, then it's definitely going to be worth it. We're not going to go to the salt water on this. We're just going to go and use the actual alcohol, and we're going to see if we get any different numbers. That's literally all we're doing here. Okay. So we've landed. Only got a C1, sadly. Get some dirty
Secure
rags.
communication
We
with human
need
asset
some
established.
absence. We
Greetings,
need,
human asset. Welcome to Scum Island
I guess
tutorial
that's really all we
protocol
need.
provided by the Tech One
Let's just go ahead and get an
Corporation. My
axe.
designation is Dual Energetic Entity Neural Appliance or DINA. I am an artificial intelligence created by the Tech One Corporation tasked with overseeing the Scum Show protocols
Come
including
on.
the preparation of human assets. If you wish to activate the
Mm,
tutorial, please do so on your journal interface. Secure channel closed.
come on. Give me a C2, my guy. C2. Alright. Alright. So we got ourselves a C2. And now we're just going to apply the absinthe. Okay. And we go over to the stats. 20 XP. So now we're getting 20 XP for medical. Now let's say, I guess we can go ahead and test the time as well. So let's go ahead and test the time, see if we get any quicker. So here, medical health C2. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so doesn't really look like there's much increased time there. It's still going to be about 4 seconds. But now we're looking at, say, 20. So we need, here's where the thing gets more difficult, because it's not 20,000 that we need now. It's 100,000, right? And then we're getting 20 per. So that's 5,000. That doesn't even sound bad. 5,000 uses at 4 seconds apiece. Five hours. It will take you 5 hours to level to medium medical. Or roundabouts. That depends on if the XP gain increases too. Like, we're at the very base minimum here. So we're going to use one whole bottle, and that should be 200 XP. Now this means if you got a C4, you should be able to get something like 40 XP per. So this all depends on, but you're going to be using, 2 uses instead. So if you want to get a C4 bleed, you can cut your time in half, but you will lose more blood. So that's on you. But you can also take a C4 bleed, heal it half the time, then have it recover, take the bandage off, turn into a C2, heal back up your HP, and then go back and do some more. So, I mean, that is also pretty interesting. So we did that, and we have 200 XP. All right. So now let's go to medium and see kind of how long it's going to take to get to advanced from medium. So from current estimates, this is actually going about the same rate as a melee skill, or a brawling skill, which in that case, it probably would be more beneficial to actually make a character with survival. Medical tests, medium. Alright. Brawling, running, thievery. Because this is my whole thing, like right here, is that the engineering to get it to medium, easy, okay? The thing that takes the longest amount of time is cutting the trees and transporting them to the site. And if you're cutting, you know, 2 or 3 minutes off of each cut, I mean, you're increasing dramatically what you're doing. Like, I know that having advanced engineering, is going to be a big thing, but you're losing like one toolbox use per foundation at the beginning of the game. Nothing in advanced engineering is really worthwhile, you know. So, as much as people say, like, if you take advanced engineering, you're going to be saving like 3 months off your base build, that's probably true if you're upgrading your walls. But when you're building your walls, I don't think that's necessary. Plus, the whole thing though is that when you get survival up to advanced, it levels to advanced plus rapidly. I'll show you real quick. And then, right now it's doing 100 seconds or whatever per tree. If you get to advanced plus survival, you're probably talking like a minute per tree, So let me just go ahead.
Secure communication with human asset established. Greetings, human asset. Welcome to Scum Island tutorial protocol provided by the Tech One Corporation. My designation is Dual Energetic Entity Neural Appliance or DINA. I am an artificial intelligence created by the Tech One Corporation tasked with overseeing the Scum Show protocols, including the preparation of human assets. If you wish to activate the tutorial, please do so on your journal interface. Secure channel closed.
Now you are getting less chops to get, this done, but it doesn't look to be really impacting the durability. It might help you decrease the durability or like increase the durability of your weapon. That would be another thing I'd be interested to see, is that if, doing less swings allows you to take less durability damage on your weapon, because that means less and less, time that's going to take you to cut everything down. So right now, with this, we are breaking down one tree. We are doing this in half of the time of somebody that has no survival skill, right? So that alone, to me, says efficiency. I think having this, especially since I'm a base builder, that's a big one. But being able to build a base rapidly before people can even get to you, I think is good. Plus, less swings to do the same amount of material means less noise, which could be very beneficial. But with this, I just kind of want to see, kind of how much we can get this increased. So for me, like the last couple weeks, I've been leveling this. So this is one tree. It's not even fully done. 6,550 XP, and you're getting that at half of the speed that it takes someone to cut down a tree. That. So let's say, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure there ain't any more sticks anywhere. Okay. So, actually, there's one right there. So let's see right now. Let's just go ahead and do this. Cutting into sticks. Now that's going to save you time on crafting arrows and everything else, but it's also giving you more XP per crafted arrow. So we know that crafting an arrow doesn't really give you much. So right now we're at 7,900. I just want to go ahead and make one arrow. So we're at 7,900. We got 210 XP for one arrow. Okay. So we're set. Actually, yeah. So anyway, we got about 8,000 XP for we got about 8,000 XP for one tree. We need what, 10 million for this divided by 8,000. It's 1,250 trees, okay, to get to advanced plus survival. All right, and that's taking you about 100 seconds. So we do that by 100, divide that by 60, divide that by 60. So about a month to get to advanced plus survival. You know how crazy that is? Like, yeah, it's a month, but I mean, you're saving. It's not that it's a month there. You're saving so much time here with your engineering, with building. Especially if you're just building in wood, because like say that you're building like foundations, the schematic is 5. When you go and you get medium engineering, this gets down to like 4 or 3. When you get, or I think it's 4, and then when you get to advanced engineering, it goes down to 3. Saving 1 toolbox use, and you're saving like a few planks and lumber. But when you are increasing how many that you can cut down at a time, you're increasing this rapidly, and you're not getting any benefit with advanced plus engineering really, besides a reduction in your material cost. But you can cut down and process so much more material with this other skill better anyway. So, and then like you just go look, boom, 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 at the very beginning. Now, if this helps you maintain durability on your weapon that you're cutting stuff with because you're using less swings, then that means that this is going to decrease the amount of time it takes you by even more, which is already a huge deal, right? The right there is just 22% for engineering. Now this is survival, okay? This is single player, but one tree, I mean, leveling survival to basic, you need 10 trees. I don't even remember exactly what we said before, but you need 10 trees. And that's going to take you 200 seconds a tree. Ooh, something happened. 200, so it's going to be 2,000. So you're already looking at 30 minutes. Now, did leveling engineering to basic take 30 minutes? No. Is medical going to take 30 minutes? No, not when you get into leveling it, apparently. So now we need we have that. We need the absinthe. We need the dirty rags. And we need skinny zombie. Alright. C1. C2. Alright. Now we're doing this here. And we treat C2. And let's see what we get. Oh shoot, I already messed up. My bad. I needed to take the medium medical, so that was on me. But that you can see, let's just go ahead and say that you can see what I'm saying. Okay. So so single player, we'll go ahead and create one more. So we're gonna do medical, medium. I'm gonna go strength, 5 intelligence. Alright, we're not going to do that because it might interfere with our test. We're doing all this at the basic, just as soon as you level up, what is the increase that you get? Because I know there could be a minor increase in between, so you're going to have to take, the time frame with a grain of salt. But if all it requires is 1 absinthe bottle and some rags, you can level this up. Let me go ahead and double check this. Let me see how long this stream is going to be. I'm trying to make it into a video. I'll post it. I do apologize for the AI talk. You have to make the characters to test the things. But if salt and salt water are disinfectant in the game, and that is legitly how it's supposed to be, because I mean Google is already saying basically that
Secure
it can be used as
communication with human
disinfectant. I know it's
asset
used for like
established.
food preservation.
Greetings, human asset. Welcome to
Preservation.
Scum Island tutorial protocol provided by the Tech One Corporation. My designation is Dual Energetic Entity Neural Appliance or DINA. I am an artificial
read
intelligence
this,
created by the
post.
Tech One Corporation
I can't
tasked
really
with
say
overseeing the Scum Show protocols,
what it's
including
gonna
the
say, but
preparation of human assets. If you wish to activate the tutorial, please do so on your journal interface. Secure channel closed.
okay. So we need the axe, we need rags, we need the absinthe, and we need the zombie. Come on. Come on. Alright, C2. Alright, I'm stuck. Alright. Okay. C2, treat it. So this is medium medical. 40. Alright. So we have now doubled again, which makes me think that you're going to be getting 80 with the C4, which would take less time, but still use the same amount of supply. But this is in single player, so I can't really say 100% that this is going to transfer over to multiplayer. But from what I saw so far, there's no reason for me to doubt that it would, because the multiplayer XP gain, from what I saw, was already a C2 with 10, I believe. Or I think we had C1 with 5. I mean, we're going to have to double check, I guess. But on our multiplayer server, I have advanced medical, so we just have to see if the advanced medical skill actually lines up. So, alright, so we are going for 1 million points. And we're getting 40 XP per, which is 25,000, okay? So that's going to take us 4 seconds each, you know, if we keep the same number. All right, so that's going to take us about a month. A little under a month. Or not a month. 30 hours. Yeah. Yeah, a little under 30 hours. So it seems to be on par with the survival skill. I would say that it's a little bit niche. Like medical, very important skill, but it is also niche compared to survival. I mean, survival, as soon as you hit the ground, you're making bows, axes, all that stuff. That's a lot of time saving. Even if you don't base build, it's going to speed up your awareness leveling. It's going to speed up your base building. It's going to speed up a lot. And if medical can be leveled up in 30 hours, even if you can't really do it passively, I mean, that seems worth it to me. And survival going to advanced plus rapidly, so like by the time you like farm up this, actually let's go ahead and double check that real quick. So we had 10 million that we needed for survival, and we were getting about 8,000 a tree. Okay, and then we were doing that at about 100 seconds, and then we're dividing that, and then dividing that. That wasn't days. So it's going to be 34 hours or so to get to advanced plus survival, which I'm assuming would drop the time down to about a minute per tree. So base building your first base, you're probably going to spend 30 hours base building that. You're going to have advanced plus survival, and then you're going to be having your engineering level up a lot faster, your awareness leveling up faster, and then your medical is going to take about the same amount of time. And these are going to take a little bit longer than your strength skill. All these, take, 20 hours, 20, 30 hours. This is going to be the hardest, and then thievery here is going to be the hardest. I haven't found a way to level up thievery, but if everything levels up equally well, let's just go ahead and we will go to a single player with advanced. We'll test the advanced XP gain, and then I'll go onto the multiplayer server, and then we can kind of see what's going on there. So let's just do this. Medical test A, MTA. Alright. I should be able to find a puppet to give me a C2 in the game, and I believe that I have some alcohol, so shouldn't be too bad. And spending a day just, sitting at the beach, dumping seawater on you, doesn't seem too bad. Die by power electrocution. That'd be great. Is there a flat piece of land here? Is this flat? No. Kind of. No, not really. Alright.
Secure communication with human asset established. Greetings, human asset. Welcome to Scum Island tutorial protocol provided by the Tech One Corporation. My designation is Dual Energetic Entity Neural Appliance or DINA. I am an artificial intelligence created by the Tech One Corporation tasked with overseeing the Scum Show protocols, including the preparation of human assets. If you wish to activate the tutorial, please do so on your journal interface. Secure channel closed.
$80. Alright. So you're getting 80 for that. You're getting probably 160 for C4, but let's see. I just want to see what this is going to be, alright? If you need 10 million, and we divide that by 80, 125 hills, it's taking 4 seconds to do this. And then 60 divided by 60, that's 138 hours, which is a lot more than everything else to get to advanced plus. If you divide that by 2 for a C4, it's still going to be a decent amount of time. So advanced plus medical might not be possible. I mean, I don't think I'm going to heal for 139 hours. But the original divided by 40. Let's just double check this real quick. Yeah, so 27 hours. Not too shabby. Now, let's go ahead and read this little article real quick. I just want to kind of go over this just to make sure that, because I don't know if it's a actual like exploit in the game or not. So if it gets removed, it gets removed. But the article that I'm looking at right now, I'm not going to say that it's anything super official, but Since ancient times, salt has been used to fight infection. Many historical records go back to the Hippocrate or whatever the fuck. Um, show that salt was used to clean and treat wounds. The Greek, Romans, Egyptian all used salt as disinfectant to treat cuts, wounds, sore mouths, and skin irritations, and is still used today. Salt has similar. For millions of years, we have lived with bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites until a few hundred years ago, even a small incision could have caused death. I mean, that's basically what it's saying. I don't know. I've never seen anyone use salt as a disinfectant, but if it works, it could be just possibly meant to happen in the game. All right. So let's go in here real quick. I will try and find a puppet, and I will find a bottle of alcohol and get a C2. And if we get 80 XP, then we know that everything's probably lining up. If not, then we know that everything was a sham up to this point. I just remembered that I ran really far away from my base. Okay, but I do have some alcohol on me, so that's good. Okay, so I'm not sure where the best place to find a puppet would be. The military base is kind of dangerous, but do have one rag, but I have scissors, so we should be fine. This is the character that I've been using on the multiplayer server. Essentially, what I got going on though is that I started the game with 5 Constitution, 1.3 Strength, and 2.7 Dex. Looking back at it, probably would have been better just to start with 3 Dex and then have my Thievery maxed. But if you don't really care about leveling your Thievery, then you can level it with like 100 advanced locks a day and in like 8 days or something from 80%, which to me is reasonable. I would prefer to not have to level Thievery if possible. Let's see if there's any puppets over here. And looking back on this now, I probably would usually puppet over here somewhere, I thought. I would probably, you know, if I do this again, just start with advanced running, but that's the one thing, is both of these are at 67%. I can, you know, just running kind of normally, I can get about a percentage a day, so it'll take me about 30 days or so to level both of those up, as long as I have a decent amount of weight on my character. Which, that in the grand scheme of things isn't that big of a deal. But having the 120 XP at the beginning of the game, I do like. But honestly, you know, passively leveling this and being able to get like 0.4, 0.5 Constitution, you could probably lower this down, but you would decrease the amount of running and endurance that you would get. See if we can get anything in this next village over here. Currently, though, I haven't hit the 14% increase here yet, but I'm already able to run at 30 kilometers an hour. Once that gets to 14%, I'll be at 31, and then once this maxes out, we'll be like at 32 or so. And so we're gonna be pretty fast already. I mean, we can already run most of the map. We're gonna be at 0.6. Like, we're already at 0.6 right now, but you know, it just depends on how fast you want to level your weapon skills. The strength skill, like, I haven't tried to micromanage and level my strength, but that's gonna be the one thing that slows me down. But realistically, all it takes is cutting a tree or something over and over again, or pushing a wheelbarrow. I think cutting the tree would be the best method, even compared to like walking with weight. You're gonna get more gain cutting the tree, I believe. So right now, with all the XP values, we should know, like, even if we get a C4 and we heal and get 160 XP, that's gonna be on par with the single player XP gain. I don't really expect it to be the same in multiplayer, but if it is, it's going to be a good deal. So there should be a puppet in town somewhere. What was that? Alright. Hopefully you don't get shot. We can find a puppet in here. There's doors open. Come on. Alright, C2. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and write this down so I don't mess this up. Hopefully no one shoots me. 4, 4, 6, 7. Alright. There. 4, 5, 4, 7. I'm just gonna use the calculator. 4, 5, 4, 7. I just heard somebody. 80. So now I know that I've wasted a good amount of time. On the old character. Alright guys, so officially pretty much at this point, as long as you have the ability to get your hands on some salt water or a good amount of alcohol, you're going to be able to level up your medical pretty quickly in about 30 hours, 27 to 30 hours. So hopefully that helps. I would go for advanced survival for the maximum help there, okay? For instance, like, when I have been building a base right now, I have medium engineering already. I started with no survival, and it's taking me, I think it takes you about like a tree or so, maybe a half a tree to get one foundation built, and a little bit of a toolbox. Toolboxes aren't too hard to build. So at that point, what you're looking at is about Um, not 200 trees. Basically though, like if I like my 11 by 11 foundation area, right? If I want 121 foundations, and let's say that's 121 trees, and at medium engineering, that's taking me 140 seconds, or at medium survival, it would take me like 140 seconds a tree. That's how many seconds that's going to take me. It's going to be a little bit lower than this, but let's just say that is on average what it is. 4, 4 to 5 hours just for the foundations. Now, if I went and do 11 by 11, and then I'm doing like one tree per, and it's taking me 100 seconds, 3 hours, maybe. I mean, that's what I'm gathering right now. Was it 3 hours? Doesn't seem right. 200 to 100 should be half the time. 121. Hmm. I don't know. Let's say, so even if it saves you 2 hours, though, I mean, that's 2 hours saved on your base. I mean, that's pretty big. But that's also time that you're saving every time you craft an axe, every time you craft an arrow, every time you craft a bow, every time you craft a bag, all that stuff. Every time you cut down a tree, and then your engineering, I mean, it's not going to be the biggest concern. I mean, medium engineering is perfectly fine, but you're going to be able to level up your engineering way quicker. Like you saw from one tree, you got 22% um, there. So this is 20. All right, so 22%. Let's just say 20%. So you're going to need 5 trees for that, right? And that is at 200 seconds a tree, which is going to give you 16 minutes to get to basic engineering. Now, let's say that you need those 5 trees, and then you're doing that at 100 seconds. You're cutting that down to 8 minutes, right? So I'm thinking survival is going to be the best skill to have in total, not because it's going to take you longer to level, but because when you're actually looking at your character and you build your character, having survival to advanced in the 30 something hours that it would take you to level medical, you're going to be able to get advanced plus survival, which is going to save you even more time throughout the game because you're going to be down to 60 seconds every time that you do something. And then when it comes to, your awareness, you're going to level up that faster. You're going to be able to level up your engineering faster. So you're cutting your engineering skill leveling time in half, basically, is what's going on. So thank you for watching this. If it helps you out, just holler. I'm probably going to post this on a couple different things. I got to go to work, so that was just a quick little test. I happened to just run across that in game and think about it. I don't know if I'm going to remake my character or not. I kind of want to, but I already almost got advanced survival, so I don't think it's going to be the biggest issue.